Previously on Space Cadets.
All right, gang. OK. You are about to become the very first televised British space tourists. You get going. On you get. Go.
And tonight, they touch down.
Hello and welcome to Space Cadets, a show based on such a simple set of ideas. I'm surprised it's never been tried before. All you have to do is convince 9 people they're in with a chance of going to space, convert a disused airbase in Ipswich into a convincing Russian training camp, put your 9 contestants through 20 days of training and lectures before choosing 3 of them for the actual mission, where they, along with an undercover actor, will spend 5 days orbiting Earth as Britain's first ever televised venture into space tourism in this shuttle. Sorry. Which I'm here to tell you is going precisely nowhere. It's that easy and nothing could possibly go wrong. Don't forget, if by some miracle this enterprise actually manages to hoodwink the cadets into believing they are in space, there are big cash rewards for them. So even if they're not on the moon, they should be over it. Is it going to work? We don't know. If it does, it'll be brilliant. But if it doesn't, and the Space Cadets rumble it, we'll be off the air quicker than you can say Jamie's school dinners, which is exactly what Channel 4 will play in our place. So even if there's a bit of humble pie being eaten around here, at least our kids will have a few greens on their plates. So, last night you saw all the contestants take the cosmic carrot that was dangled before them and agree to do the show. It was time they started their journey to what they thought was Russia to begin their training. Spirits were high, but would they suspect anything?
Fly me to the moon. Let me swing among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words,
it's alright, so I think 120 3000
Russia, look at the fucking space!
Right, happy?
Baby,
Cabin,
kiss me.
cue off for takeoff.
Please be true. In other words,
To remove any reference to time, our newly chosen Space Cadets have had their watches removed. Now, thousands of feet above the lights of London, they are grappling with the enormity of the mission ahead of them.
Well, my mate's going to be like, oh, what are you doing? So, some reality TV show. We're going to space. So, what do I do? Oh, I won't play for Rangers. Oh, I wish I could play for Rangers. And my space. Hey, my kid's going to go and say, oh, they're national, like my dad. Oh, no. Yeah, but not space, man. I know. My mum never had this in mind for me.
100 miles away near Ipswich, the final stages of a 3-month makeover are coming together. Hopefully in 4.5 hours' time, when the Space Cadets first land here, everything they see and hear will be Russian. Russian signs, Russian plugs, Russian litter strategically placed around the base. Russian guards, well, actors pretending to be Russian guards. It's absolutely vital that when the cadets arrive, they fully believe they're entering a military base in deepest, darkest Russia, rather than a deserted American airbase near Ipswich. Back in the clouds, the excitement is almost too much for some of the cadets.
What made me laugh is they said, yeah, you're going into space. You went, I'm going to Russia! Whoa, we're going to space. Never buy a drink. Never buy a drink. Free drinks for the rest of your life. Free drinks. Everyone you meet, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Even our actors appear excited. Or are they just acting?
Yeah, to all those people that said I'd never be an astronaut.
Has Bill Gates been to space?
As expected on any international flight, the captain announces his planned route to the passengers. And our captain proved to be as good at lying as he was at flying.
Probably about 28,000 feet, so got a nice tailwind actually up here, all bits, so that's helping speed us on our way. Probably just about to approach Scandinavia, routing to North Amsterdam over Scandinavia, and then on to the Baltic states, to Volgograd.
No, I've always wanted to go to Russia.
In reality, the private jet was taking a very different route to Russia. The journey would be in 2 parts. Taking off from Biggin Hill Airport, south of London, the plane would travel 200 miles out over the North Sea and then make a very slow, undetectable turn and come back again. 4 loops in 3.5 hours, and our cadets would be at Volgograd, a cold, dark landing strip in the south of Russia, better known as Lid Airport in Kent.
I hope the Russians say, get over there, and you got to fucking move and all that lot. Or they're just pushing us all the time. I bet they have a right fucking laugh.
Back at base, our director was putting the Russian actors through their paces. Oleg, a city banker by day, would be the first person to meet them on arrival. His performance would play a vital role in convincing them they were indeed in Russia.
Just do this bit for me again and just scream your head off.
Слушай, здесь 11 человек. Их всего 12. Почему? Ты какого черта ты меня опять выставляешь? Почему 12? Прием!
A team of 40 cold people were running about in the dark, rehearsing the very important arrival scene. 10 cameras will film the cadets as they take their first steps into our fake world. 15 actors, authentic Russian jeeps, a real tank, all for our cadets to encounter on their arrival. And Kelvin, the Geordie bus driver.
Pig, an absolute pig, honestly. The gears are just like so sloppy. Second and third, that's all you need. Second and third.
The most overriding thing that we're doing, the superior objective to all of it, is to create an experience for these people that is completely believable. Because if that doesn't happen, there's no point to the whole show.
Yeah, here we go. Nice and steady, rising, and action.
While the Russian rehearsals were running smoothly, our cadets were starting to ponder on the everyday practicalities of being in space.
What happens if you're in space while you're taking a dump and it flops out, it misses a little bit?
You don't actually shit a lot when you're in space because they're supposed to train you, and you're not supposed to eat the sort of foods that make you crap all the time because it's not good. It's not good. Those are dangerous. Yeah. So we might not shit for 5 days.
Can't believe we're having this conversation.
I just can't stop smiling, my face hurts.
Hope you've enjoyed your flight with us today. It's certainly been a pleasure having you on board.
Show your seat backs in the upright position with the armrest down. Your tray table's folded away.
Hope we can perhaps be of service to you in the future. Enjoy the rest of the trip. Cheers, good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Russia.
Here? That's the fastest chair here. Really? Oh, fucking here.
Some of our cadets were scarily closer to the truth than they could ever imagine.
I think it's all pretend really. We're not really right or something. And you're going to go, ha, and I'll be like...
After 3.5 hours in the air, the first leg of the cadets' journey was over. They believed they had landed at Volgograd in western Russia. But they were really at Lid Airport in Kent. Having turned out all the floodlights on the runway and in the terminal buildings, there was nothing to suggest otherwise. The next leg of their journey was a 1-hour trip in a Sikorsky helicopter. It would take off from Lid and travel at 150 miles an hour straight to the newly formed Krymsk military base just outside Ipswich. And after 4.5 hours in the air, our cadets would actually end up only 100 miles from where their journey first began. At the base, things were kicking into 5th gear. Armourers provided imitation weapons. Costume designers issued authentic Russian military wear. Cameramen checked their equipment. And the director ran through his final rehearsal for the big arrival.
Action!
Then the call that everyone had been waiting for came through on the radio.
Roger, Foxtrot, Juliet. Copy that, 10 minutes.
The helicopter is currently circling The helicopter is coming down to land. Dave in the Jeep, it's over to you to clear the Jeep for the runway.
Months of hard work was hopefully about to pay off. When the helicopter landed, the Space Cadets would be welcomed into a Russian world where, fingers crossed, they would spend the next 3 weeks of their lives.
Good luck, everyone. Enjoy.
Action.
Well, there you have it. So far, so good, despite a few ugly murmurs of suspicion. After the break, they set foot on Russian soil for the first time. Will they be convinced by a disused military base a stone's throw from Ipswich, masquerading as a Russian space facility? It cost millions to build, but are the Space Cadets going to buy it?
Здравия желаю! Добро пожаловать на российскую военно-космическую базу Крымск. Я подполковник ФСБ.
Welcome back to Space Cadets. Now, Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon, has said that if this show works and we pull it off, he'll eat his own helmet on the final show. Now, that is a hell of a boast, but I'm not sure even Channel 4 would let us get away with that one. Before the break, you saw our cadets en route to what they thought was a Russian space facility to start 3 weeks of training on how to become a space tourist. They were actually travelling to a decommissioned military base in the English countryside. Now, right now, I'm standing on this helipad where the Space Cadets disembarked for what they've been promised would be the biggest adventure of their lives. So, put yourselves in their shoes. It's pitch black. You've just spent 4 hours in the air where your pilots have told you you're heading to Russia. Then you land and you're met by one of the most unwelcoming welcoming committees you're ever likely to encounter. Would you smell a Russian rat?
Hello. How you doing? Alright.
Здравия желаю! Добро пожаловать на российскую военно-космическую базу Крымск. Я подполковник ФСБ Тимошин. Отвезу вас в ваши казармы. Your attention, please. Welcome to Russian military space base Krymsk. I, Colonel FSB Timoshin, take you to your barracks. I call your name. You go to bus. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sharil Derriere.
Cheryl.
I got kicked out of Brownies.
Okay, right.
Billy Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Ranier. Do. Kerry Hasset.
That's me.
Andrew Carter.
That's me.
Charlie Skelton. Sarah Jane Cass.
That's me.
Astrid Roberts.
That's his eye.
Paul French.
Sir.
Steve Hester.
I got kicked out of Brownies. What the hell am I doing?
Louis Nisbet.
Yep.
your name?
Ryan McBride.
Passport. Passport.
I can speak maybe bullshit Russian. I can't actually speak actual Russian.
You're English?
British, Scottish.
You are not on list. Stay.
No, Ryan's name I'm missing. Really? Oh my god. Ryan's missing.
Что там происходит? У меня в списке 11 человек. На борту вертолета 12.
Stop lying.
It did! And Ryan goes, he ain't cut my hair, man. I've been over 2 fucking years.
Макбрид! Райан! Его зовут Макбрид Райан! Да, это он! Да! Ну, уроды! You go out. Go to bus. Thank you.
I'm not on the list, eh? I'm not on the list.
Did he put you on the list, eh?
No. Did you do your passport? No, he's got my passport.
He's got your passport. He's got your passport.
He's got it.
Fuck. What do you want?
He went through the list as he did when you seen, and then he got to the end and he's like, who are you? And I was like, and then he's like, no, passport. He put his hand out, expecting the passport. I went to shake it with the lip. Like a wet fish, man, and he's like, passport. Gave him a passport, and he's like that. English? And I'm like, no, Scottish, British. And my voice like...
It's the time to quibble, yeah.
And then he went outside, he went on the floor, and he's like, Ryan McBride. And then more Russian, if you keep my these languages, and he came back on and he goes, you, bus. And he's got my passport and he's getting on.
Give the tank. I feel like we're on a tour bus. I'm not.
Oh, a tank! A real life tank!
Yeah, we're like an MGM tour. Woo! Wow! MGM tour, that is all it is. Yeah.
It's a 717.
Oh my god, look at the sign. Look at the sign. The little spaceship on the sign. Oh, yeah! What? How cool do they look?
Welcome to the military base.
Welcome to military base.
Any brothers you have will be taken away.
How
tall are you, sir?
They told me my straighteners will have there'll be a plug for my straighteners. Yeah.
Oh, is he alright? Shaggy, you must be shitting your pants, dude. Don't shut my pants.
You're fucked for 3 weeks whether you like it or not.
That's not an Alsatian, that's a bloody rotter.
Where the hell's the production?
This is a privilege, like I said on the plate.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I'm not a fucking leader when I say this, but...
Don't fuck around, man. If they say something, just say yes, man.
We are visitors in this country. We've been given a great honour to do something.
And don't mock them either, man.
No fucking way.
I do. Don't take a piss until I tell them.
They're not going to let us get into danger.
Have a look at that! Electrical fucking fences! No, mucking around out here.
Somebody's got any TV shows, they make you cry, man.
Здравия желаю, товарищ подполковник. Дежурный по КПП сержант Улисов.
Вольно. Ну как, все нормально?
Все нормально.
Вот смотри, привез тебя космических туристов.
Иностранцы?
Да, англичане.
Товарищ подполковник, а девушки среди них есть красивые?
Ты знаешь, сержант, самые красивые девушки — это у нас, в России.
Мне нужны их паспорта.
Сейчас принесу. I'll take your passports.
Everyone just chill out a little bit. I think everyone's getting over carried away. Just relax now.
That is a real skunk
That's a
missile.
skunk, mate. That is what you get if you fuck around.
That is.
With be warned.
That is got it all.
Здравия желаю, товарищ начальник учебного центра. Подполковник Тимошин прибыл с группой курсантов в количестве 12 человек. Решите выставку из автобуса.
Go inside and school. Hi. Good to meet you. All right. Good evening.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, there you go. They're in. They suspect nothing. Everyone said it couldn't be done. Well, I said it couldn't be done, but it could, and it has. After the break, our Space Cadets get their first glimpse of the barracks that will be their home and training base for the next 3 weeks. Look, you can cut it out, mate. It's all right. I know you're not really a Russian guard. You're called Dave, and you're a forklift driver from Droitwich. Now, let's not pretend.
Nastrovoya.
Someone is going to go to space. Can you believe that? Space.
Welcome back to Space Cadets. So far, our cadets believe they've been flown to Russia, when in actual fact, they've been flown over the North Sea for a bit, and they've been convinced this old military base in Ipswich is actually Krymsk, here, just near the Black Sea in southwest Russia. Now, they're about to be welcomed by the man whose office I'm sitting in, Mission Commander, Squadron Leader James Campbell, or actor Richard Campbell, to you and me. So, were they going to buy him? He'd certainly done his homework and was set to employ the two crucial requirements you must have if you're going to convince a group of space cadets you're a genuine mission commander. First, you need one of these. Secondly, you need to speak very, very slowly.
Doesn't it look a bit small? What's this like?
Okay, everyone. Would you like to settle down in the comfy chairs?
Love to settle down.
I trust you've all had a decent journey.
Yes, thank you. Fantastic.
On behalf of myself, James Campbell, and of Star,
the Space Tourism Agency of Russia, it is my very great pleasure to welcome you here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I am the mission commander here at STAR. I will be overseeing all aspects of your training in preparation for the mission itself. Firstly, I must congratulate you on being chosen to embark on this historic adventure. The search for our first space tourists has been going on for some time now, and it's a thrill for me to see you here tonight. It's also particularly pleasing for me, obviously, that Britain is the first country to take part.
Me too.
I can assure you it will be the first of many. However, the real work starts now. Some of you sitting there will become Britain's first space tourists. But it will take dedication and hard work on your part. Tomorrow, I will brief you fully on what we have in store for you here at STAR. Now, there is one point that I must raise now, and that is security. As you will have gathered from your journey here tonight, you are now on a working military base. Our Russian comrades do not like surprises. You must not leave the STAR compound at any time. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes.
I think that's enough for tonight. You've had a long day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's have a drink.
Oh, yeah,
It's way 2 in the morning.
Thank you. Well done, peeps.
Hang
on. 1 second.
No, you've got to down it. There's the only way to do it.
This is
Russian style.
one thing Russia does very well. Nastrovoya. You're very
Oh,
that's nice.
I don't do shots, man. Yeah, let's get the cock out.
Guys, I'm going to see you in the morning.
Yeah, later.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Come on, mate.
Is it really 2 in the morning?
Oh, there it is. This is unbelievable, isn't it?
They're not that scary, you know.
OK, I'm standing outside the barracks. We're going to have to be a bit quiet here. They're settling down for their first night. But the good news is, it seems another hurdle had been jumped and the mission commander was in command of his cadets. Something worth celebrating, I think. Nastrovoya, as they say in Russia, or get it down your pipe, lad, as they say round here. Anyway, back to the intrepid cadets and the chance for them to familiarise themselves with their new quarters. And the very first space race had begun. The race for the best bed.
With Mission Commander James gone, the cadets are finally alone to explore their new home. They'll be sleeping in a shared dormitory, in the grand tradition of reality shows.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that. I want this bed. Oh my God, look at that.
Someone's in this.
Someone's
in this.
This is my bed.
Someone's in this.
I'll do top. That's my bed.
I'm just going to familiarise myself.
That's sort of something I throw if you want, man.
Oh, can we all sleep together?
Look at these. My bed.
Bloody hell.
Oh, come on. Oh, where's the jacuzzi? Where's the jacuzzi? Where's the jacuzzi? Oh, mixed rooms. Where's that jacuzzi?
This is amazing. I can't believe that.
And they have a recreation room complete with inspirational artwork.
Paul, you can't guff in a bedroom, dude.
Yeah, we can, all day, all day.
Girls, check that out, look. That's what we're talking about. Where's the metal porn, man? Where's the metal porn?
International travel is thirsty work. The boys take a swig of real Russian soft drink, kvass. How does it taste, Billy?
It tastes like fucking shizen.
Beef.
That's beef. That's malt. It tastes less strong than it smells.
Drink water.
It's
We can drink the water in Russia, can't we? You can drink the water in Russia, can't you?
Drink what?
The water in Russia.
I hope so, yeah.
Because I just have. So if I can.
That's a bit late.
Yeah.
A bit late, you fucked.
I'm still
The cadets take time to read through the STAR handbook.
Here we go, listen to this up, guys, it's interesting.
Please note that all tap water on the training facility is drinkable. Tea and coffee making facilities are available during the day. Snacks will also be supplied.
Oh, cool. We're not going to starve then.
After us.
That's all good.
Oh, video diary, okay.
I'll tell you what, just don't smell it. Drink it.
Video diary.
You don't smell it, sorry.
Within the barrack block, we have set up a room with a camera so you can record a video diary or message whenever you feel like it. Everything you say in your video diary will remain private and confidential during your time in the facility, although it may of course be broadcast. And congratulations, blah blah blah.
I'm going in the fucking video diary room to fucking record a message.
I'm going for a shit.
I would.
Andrew, a student from South London, is the first to record a video diary.
This is different. This is something else. It's fucking hell. It's freezing out here. Someone is gonna go to space. Can you believe that? Space. It's fucking something else.
Jim's what, Karen?
Oh, I'm excited now.
I'm excited, but I'm really tired. My brain is fried.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
But we had our own private jet and a helicopter all in one night.
I know.
How mad is that?
Look at those.
And we're here in Russia.
Aren't they amazing?
Oh my god.
Look at that, man.
Amazing.
Shit.
Fuck's sake.
And we might, four of us are going to be in space. Space.
Actor Charlie reflects on the day.
There were two descriptions of what was happening which stood out in my mind. Ryan said, "Oh, space is the bollocks." Sarah Jane described the whole adventure to space as the equivalent to Chessington's World of Adventure times 10,000.
What sport are Russia good at? Gymnastics. Snowing.
That was my gymnastics thing that I was going to do.
Actor Steve pops in to say Dobry večer, which is good evening in Russian.
I had all these pictures in my mind of what it was going to look like. And I've even had it described to me once or twice. But when I actually landed, it just blew me away. Blew me away. It just looks all just so plausible. It's fantastic.
Oh, you've been in the house.
That's his identity. This is great.
Same lighting, same everything.
And finally, after a hard day's travelling to Ipswich, it's bedtime for the tired cadets.
You look, can you believe this? We're in fucking Russia, man. We're in Russia, man.
This is something else, man. Good night, people. God bless them. To the space we go.
Hang on, girls. Girls, look. Look. Let's say.
I can't see. Sarah James.
That's the last person you see was me.
Sarah James.
Chessington World of Adventures times 10,000. Why didn't Armstrong think of that? It makes his small step, giant leap nonsense seem just so uninspired, doesn't it? I guess we just live in more poetic times. OK, we're going to take a break now. When we come back, Space School begins.
In the words of STAR's mission motto, Eto ni raketstroni, which roughly translated, for any of you whose Russian is rusty, we the adventurers.
Welcome back to Space Cadets from the only Russian space facility that's actually situated in Suffolk. OK, back to the cadets. They're in that barracks behind me. That's why I'm being a bit quiet. Everything's been going smoothly. In fact, things have been going so smoothly, you just knew something was going to go wrong. And viewers who don't like the sight of blood or indeed men's feet might very well want to look away now.
It's the first morning in Russia for our cadets. They've been here less than 12 hours, and actor Steve is in the wars already. Fellow actor Charlie has just accidentally kicked his toenail off.
Actually, that's... He got me with his shoe.
I kicked his toe off.
Right, you, into the toilet, now!
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just go to the bathroom though. Go to the bathroom.
I've just had it running under the tap. I've just had it running. Pass it over.
Is it over? Let's have a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in 40 minutes.
See you in 40
Do you have any
minutes.
bandages in there or some gauze?
Here,
or something?
that's just...
Okay, good. I just hop in a shower.
I don't think he's...
I just don't like blood. See what happened?
Well, I was just in the kitchen. I was just going to take one of the grills out in the fridge to put the milk in. And Charlie was walking past and he caught me with his foot. It was an accident.
Charlie, what have you done? That's good, boy.
I'm really sorry.
What? No, it's okay.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
His whole toenail's nearly fallen off. That is sore.
Thing is...
See this here?
Don't
See that?
touch
I'm not going
it.
to touch it. I'm not going to touch it.
I know, it's all...
It's all bruised. Don't touch it. But you must see if you get a nice tight band, hold it in place, it'll grow back together.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. It's a shame. Steve, why is it always you?
I don't know.
Why is it always you?
Why do I always keep on getting injured?
That's a shame.
Last time I was bloody ill, now I've just been disabled.
Doctor's coming, you'll be all right.
Tell you what, might as well give the camera what it wants.
I'm just going to finish the job here.
Don't you bloody dare go near it. Oh, man. Oh, my nail's going blue.
Brilliant. Bloody brilliant. You get some undercover actors in just to try and help things along a bit, and one of them ends up mutilating the other. On a positive note, though, that nail is now off. And that, I would think, will probably show up on eBay pretty shortly. This is the lecture hall where the cadets will learn everything they need to know to survive a 5-day mission aboard our space shuttle in a disused aircraft hangar. You saw it earlier. Now, the first day of a new school, always going to be a nerve-wracking experience, and one cadet in particular seemed to be dragging his heels.
And so to the next big test. So far, the cadets believe they're in Russia. But will they believe that this former military HQ is actually a working Russian space academy? We filled it with as many spacey things as possible. Pictures of space, impressive-looking rocket things, and Minsky, the first Russian monkey to return from space, or so the cadets will be told. Now it's the moment of truth, as the cadets arrive for their first lecture. Steve bravely marching on through the pain.
Wow. Back of the class. Actually, a bit of fun.
Well, they seem to believe it all so far.
OK. Welcome to STAR's Space Tourism Programme. In the words of STAR's mission motto, Eto ni raketstreni, which roughly translated, for any of you whose Russian is rusty, we the adventurers. I'm aware that yesterday was fairly overwhelming for you, and I'm sure you're still feeling a bit shell-shocked. However, I hope that for most of you, discovering that you're part of the world's first mass space tourism enterprise is a thrilling, if slightly daunting, project. STAR is helping to turn what was once only the dream of the super-rich into something everyone can experience. In just under 3 weeks, some, possibly even all of you, will be able to officially call yourselves astronauts. I'm the mission commander here at STAR, the Space Tourism Agency of Russia. I was a squadron leader in the RAF. I was in the RAF for 19 years before STAR tempted me away just over 8 years ago. I am here to make sure that you learn everything you need in order to take part in our mission. I'm here to ensure your safety at all times, and of course to make sure that your time here is as enjoyable as possible. We are here, a lovely little place called Krimsk. This is the Black Sea, the Caspian Sea. This is Volgograd, where you changed into your helicopter last night. That is therefore the Volga River. That's Moscow. That's Turkey, so we're not a million miles away from there. Iran, Iraq, basically. The Space Tourism Agency of Russia is owned by Russian oil billionaire Sergei Boshchov, whose schoolboy infatuation with space was reignited by a commercial desire to compete with the likes of Richard Branson and American companies such as Space Adventures to become the first name associated with mass space tourism. As a company, Star has been 12 years in the making. After securing this site as the base for his project, Mr. Boshchov set about finding and employing some of the world's leading experts in their fields to manage the site, build his craft, and turn his dream into reality. Needless to say, the race for space tourism is almost as competitive as the original space race in the 1960s between Russia and America. As I speak, Branson is testing his craft, Spaceship One, in California's Mojave Desert. And we reckon he's about 2 years behind us. Earth Orbiter 1. It's the result of over 4 years of exhaustive testing and fine-tuning to get it to its present state. It actually flies as Branson's craft does, in the same manner as a conventional aircraft. It takes off and lands from a runway. This craft cannot take you into deep space. The maximum altitude that you can reach will be about 200 kilometres above the Earth. That's about 124 miles. I promise you, you get a hell of a view.
So far, so good. But brace yourselves for what could already be the end of the show. The moment we tell them that there'll be no zero gravity on their mission, which means they won't be floating around. Will they buy it?
One thing that may surprise you, it might disappoint you, but it makes our life easier, is that it's unlikely you'll experience weightlessness. On this mission, you'll be skirting the Earth's atmosphere, high enough to reach orbit, but still within the reach of Earth's gravitational pull. Full training and acclimatization to the zero-gravity environment takes 12 months, which we haven't got. Each and every one of you has been hand-picked for this mission. And the key attributes you share are your determination to succeed and your positivity in the face of adversity. Each of you believes you have what it takes to become a crew member aboard the world's first mass tourist program. And so do we.
Well, they bought it. And after just over an hour, the cadets leave happily with their arms full of brand new training kits and the illusion still intact. Mission accomplished. For now.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? I think everyone learnt something there. The cadets learnt that the entire theory of gravity had been rewritten in the past 6 months for the convenience of this show, and I too learnt an invaluable lesson. Namely, the mission commander is a man who demands respect. So, while I finish these off, take a look at this moment at the end of that lecture when Charlie, one of our actors, get that again, one of our actors employed by us to get us out of tricky situations, lands the mission commander right in it. Tit.
It was all going so well, with James helpfully teaching the cadets a rhyme to help them remember the planets of our solar system.
Many very English men jump sideways under new plants.
Many very English men jump sideways under... I'm very easy mate to just say it.
Say that again. Many very English men jump sideways under new plants.
I think I forgot that it wasn't real for a moment during James Campbell's first lecture. And he was talking about space and the planets. And I don't know who James Campbell is. I assume he's some actor. But I actually asked him a question in order to about the planet that was a bit tricky. And I think at that point I'd forgotten that my job there wasn't to try and get to space and to ask questions of this space expert, but it was to help the whole thing work smoothly.
What about the X at the end?
The what?
The X at the end.
That's all you need to know. I mean, even Pluto is about to be declassified as a planet.
Yeah, I think probably at that point I thought I was a trainee astronaut.
Apart from Charlie doing his best to sabotage the whole show at every turn, so far, so good. The cadets are here. They think it's Russia. They believe they're being trained by an organisation called STAR, and there's only another 19 days training to go. Coming up tomorrow, can we convince the cadets you can get a suntan in space, that there's a star system called the Hazelnut Cluster, and that the stuffed animal in the lecture room is actually Minsky, the first monkey in orbit. Also, we lose one of our cadets. Not in space, but to a rather comfortable travel lodge off the A12. Who is it? Find out the answer to all these questions in tomorrow's Space Cadets.
And that's at 9. The Space Cadets satellite show's taking the countdown on E4 now. And next tonight, the killer of a working class hero talks. I killed John Lennon.